If I told you there was a place that could be considered the Hollywood of the Midwest, would you think of Ohio? You should. Movies are being made here, and people right here in the Dayton area are getting jobs on movie sets springing up all over the state. A few years ago, Ohioans could look with considerable envy to states like Louisiana, North Carolina, and New Mexico, where state officials created tax incentives that lured lots of high-profile film productions and also received a lot of buzz. 2 years ago, Ohio got in on the action. A coalition of jobs-minded film organizations, including FilmDayton, which was less than a year old at the time, urged lawmakers and Governor Ted Strickland to open up a film tax incentive program here. They did it, and Governor John Kasich has kept it going, seeing the value in making Ohio attractive to filmmakers. How attractive? Well, in the last 2 years, a lot of films have been shot here and gotten considerable attention in the industry and media, and more are on the way. Many you've heard of, and many of them have been produced within an easy commute of the Dayton region. In the coming year, other productions will provide opportunities for Ohioans and Daytonians to work locally on films that go national. Ohio's diverse locations and talented workforce have generated interest from producers on films such as A Doll's House, Un-American, Confession, The Yank, Needlestick, and more. As states change their approaches, there's a lot of conversation about the best way to offer incentives and the value they provide for the economy. Some states have gone overboard and it's come back to haunt them. But Ohio has a reasonable approach, and we need more of the same. Evidence supports that reasonable film subsidies are sustainable and profitable at the state level long term. And film incentives make better interim investment for job creation than many other subsidy programs. The bottom line? Ohio has a film industry today, and Dayton is a part of it. People who live and work here are a part of it. FilmDayton is a part of it.
I've been making films in the Dayton area for over 20 years now, and the idea of having an organization that we can all call home, that's something I've thought about for years. It's something I've wanted for years. And I'm really glad FilmDayton has arrived.
It's really exciting to think about this substantial growth that we've seen in the last few years, especially since FilmDayton itself is so young. Founded as an all-volunteer labor of love in 2008 through the support of the Creative Class Task Force formed by SOCHE and many education and economic development-driven partners, FilmDayton was introduced to the community through the first FilmDayton Festival, celebrating the work of local filmmakers. And although we love to showcase our successful local filmmakers working both here and internationally, FilmDayton is much more than just the festival. For all of its 3 years, FilmDayton has been working hard to keep this activity going and plug Dayton area professionals into these productions. We produce educational and training programs for all levels of filmmakers. We put on 48-hour filmmaker boot camps where students interact with pros and leave with short films they've produced themselves. Hosted at area colleges, high schools, and community centers, these workshops are about more than learning the technical skills of filmmaking. Sure, the students learn how to craft a narrative, write their story, cast the film, shoot the action, and edit. But the other skills they develop are just as important. The students are also learning how to collaborate on a team, think critically to solve problems, depend on one another, and tackle an obstacle with a new and creative perspective.
Like real kind of basic, like how to do lighting, how to do sound, good shots, bad shots, rules to follow, rules to break, that kind of stuff. And I don't know, I've had a blast, and this is like the first time I've ever done anything like this or had this kind of creative energy with filming. So I don't know, I've really enjoyed it.
What's one thing you think you'll take away from this boot camp with you?
Easily, I think working in a group, because for the longest time I've just had to work by myself really and kind of do everything on my own, and learning how to work with other people that are like-minded and have the same kind of interests and can put their own input and style into it is a really big deal. So.
We offered a training seminar on being a production assistant. It's a first job into the industry for a lot of aspiring filmmakers, but In an industry where who you know and who knows you is so important, many students didn't know how to get that foot in the door. At our workshop, we offered the skills they needed, strengthened their resumes, and helped make some connections. And I'm proud to say that many people from that workshop went on to get great jobs in the industry, and we still hear from them today that they're being hired on more projects. We also have a great collection of talented and professional filmmakers in this community who have more than their foot in the door. FilmDayton offers programming for them as well.
The great thing about filmmaking is it's so humbling at all times, and no matter how many films you've made, if you're just getting started or if you're a veteran, you're going to face the same hurdles and the same challenges. So these Film Connection meetings are great because we talk shop.
We host professional development workshops that keep their skills sharp and relevant, high-level workshops on financing, budgeting, location management, and logistics, and more means that our talented filmmakers continue to grow their experiences and become more competitive in the field. At FilmDayton, we work with the Ohio Film Office to help producers scout potential locations in the area. We host regular events where filmmakers come together to make connections, share information, and enjoy educational presentations. This year, we launched an original web series that's bringing our film novices and pros to the table to work together to create something exciting that shows off all their skills. And of course, we tell the story of our talented filmmakers at screenings and presentations. Still not sure about who these Dayton-based talented filmmakers might be? Well, of course, you remember The Last Truck, Oscar nominee for Best Documentary in 2010 by Yellow Springs residents Julia Reichert and Stephen Bognar, shot entirely in the region using our crew and telling our stories. Although we all know the closing of GM was a huge loss for our community, The Last Truck told the story with honor, dignity, and grace. Reichert and local filmmaker Jim Klein were recently honored with their first film, Growing Up Female, being added to the National Film Registry at the Library of Congress. These are serious filmmakers making their living, working, and creating in the Dayton area. There's Eileen LeBlanc, known for her film Dayton Codebreakers, which began airing in 2006 and has been extended to broadcast through 2014 due to its popularity. Her most recent work, Take Us Home, a documentary about the exodus of Ethiopian Jews to Israel, is supported by the Levin Family Foundation and will be released soon. There's Carrie O'Reilly, a Dayton resident that creates infrastructure for films being shot nationally. As an in-demand line producer, she's called on to manage payroll, create budgets, manage castings, and handle the logistics that it takes to make a movie and get it done right. In her role as line producer, she brought Blue Car, the 2002 independent drama starring David Strayhorn, to Dayton. Industry insiders and local cast and crew worked side by side to create this successful film. Another local film that made it big in 2010, True Nature by Patrick Steele and Ann Rodolante, shot entirely in Dayton. Steele and Rodolante were proud to demonstrate how their adopted hometown had all they needed to produce a successful film, including music by local bands, performances by local actors, and work by local crew. This film helped to put Dayton on the map. And as a popular thriller, True Nature continues to win awards on the International Film Festival circuit. And there's J. Todd Anderson, an Oakwood resident who has achieved great Hollywood success as a storyboard artist with over 40 films on his resume, creating storyboards for Raising Arizona, Fargo, The Big Lebowski, The Dictator, and so much more. Anderson has worked with the best, and he knows what he wants for films. When he wrote and directed his own feature, My Mummy, released in 2008, he came to Dayton for his cast, crew, and production. Unfortunately, when you begin listing people, you leave out more than you can include, but I wanted to share with you the level of talent that exists in our own backyard. Beyond these nationally recognized films, there's so much happening behind the scenes. Dayton's a hotbed of film productions. Commercial filmmakers in the region get called upon from businesses across the country that need quality films and training videos. There's a strong community of independent filmmakers enjoying the low cost of living, spirit of collaboration, and pool of skilled labor available in the region. Plus, Wright State University has a nationally ranked motion picture program that produces new talent telling compelling stories every year. Many of their graduates get swept up to LA, but FilmDayton is here to make their hometown a viable option. So, I think you know that we have the assets to make filmmaking a viable industry in the region. We have the talent, the tax incentives, a low cost of living, varied location, and the resources necessary for a feature to be successful here. So you may think it's a no-brainer, but there are challenges that come with creative approaches to economic development. Here at FilmDayton, we're not aviation-related, STEM, or manufacturing. We provide a solution that's tough to grasp, and people want to know, are we arts, education, or economic development? Economic development is a very big picture for a very small nonprofit to tackle. So big that it's easier for many in the community to focus on what we contribute to arts and education. Much of our programming, the festivals and the screenings, the workshops and the boot camps, they are set and successful. So people ask why we spend our time trying to attract films to the region and trying to connect our filmmakers to jobs. Well, I can only tell you what I believe. I came to FilmDayton through my arts experience. I believe in the quality of life and the educational force that is a strong arts community. But beyond that, I believe that a community that supports its artists through more than applause is one that can be sustained and can grow. And although we're small, we have a unique message that needs to be shared. And that uniqueness gives us the strength to continue to fight to make the region a place where talented film artists can make a living and a life. There were many talented filmmakers in the community before FilmDayton. We don't take credit for their great work. But our work is to bring those filmmakers to the table, foster the next generation of filmmakers, invite the community to celebrate great work together, and speak with one voice that we have the capabilities to be competitive in a national market. Are we arts, education, or economic development? Yes. And there's more to come.